was the fact that with all these groups that are coming in here and say, hey, we'll buy your house sight unseen. Well, of course, they're going to flip it. Is that jacking up housing prices here in the Triangle? So we thought we'd get an expert. Johnny Chappell is an independent real estate broker, has his own firm, and he joins us today. He's a realtor. That means something for those of you who know real estate. Mr. Chappell, thank you for joining us. Are these home flippers like Zillow Offers and OfferPad, are they the speculation, are they jacking up prices here in the Triangle, in your opinion?
Well, thanks for having me on. And in some cases, yeah. I mean, that's exactly why Zillow is getting out of the flipping business, if you will. I mean, there's a recent study that shows that in the last year or so, 66%, or 2 out of every 3 houses that Zillow bought, they overpaid for. And so what they're doing is they're buying these houses, they're overpaying for them, and they're flipping them, right? So they're putting them right back on the market. And if 2 out of 3 you're overpaying for, which means you're going to put them back on the market overly priced, and then either not sell them or have to take a price cut, it's just not a sustainable business model. And so that's why Zillow is getting out of the iBuyer business. And it goes back to this estimate tool they've had in place since 2006. It's been around for a while, but it's just as fast as our market is moving right now, it is not a perfect predictor of home values. And I think we're seeing the results of that.
So it sounds to me like you're describing then what will be bad news for sellers and good news for buyers.
Not necessarily. I think that I like having choices as a consumer, and I think consumers should have choices. So I don't think the concept of iBuying is something that is going to go away for sure. Open Door, OfferPad, as you mentioned, are going to continue to do it. So having choices are good. I just think the consumer should have the education that, number one, you're going to pay Zillow, or you would have paid Zillow or Open Door or OfferPad a fee for having them buy your house and kind of being able to hit this easy button and not have to put the house on the market, go through the stress of showing. And that fee usually equals something traditionally like the real estate commission, so to speak, that we collect at closing. And so you're paying that fee for not to have to go through a hassle, but as we've seen now, in some cases, Zillow is offering either much more or much less than the house is even worth. So if you're taking a haircut on the price, then you're leaving money on the table if you're a consumer. And if you're getting too much for the house, then good for you, but that's not necessarily good for everyone else in the neighborhood who then has an inaccurate reflection of what their home values are.
Boy, I tell you what, could you explain that a little bit more? Because, the difference between Rick Martinez going down to the local Chevrolet dealer and paying a stupid money, high price to get, that Camaro that I just have to have, that's different as opposed to if Rick Martinez goes and buys stupid, money, either high or low in a house, because that price that I pay, that's kind of figured into the evaluations of the neighbors. Did I get that right?
100%. And that's how Zillow was greatly determining what their estimates were, where their home values were, was comparable sales, right? So your neighbor 3 doors down from you has the exact same floor plan that you have, and they sell their house for $200,000. Then a lot of folks are going to think your house is worth about $200,000 because that's what's called a direct comp. And so that's a tool that we realtors use quite a bit in valuing real estate. And Zillow and Open Door and OfferPad all use those same tools. What's wrong, I think, right now with that technology in a lot of cases, or that algorithm, is that our market is just moving incredibly fast. It is faster than I've ever seen it. And in Raleigh, it's like hyper fast. And so what we're seeing now from some of these tech-based companies who promise the ease of just being able to hit a button, buy a house, hit a button, sell a house, is the data they have is not necessarily keeping up with the market as well as a human could. And so I believe in technology and supporting the humans to do the real estate business that we do on a daily basis. But I really think a professional should be front and center.
What's your outlook for 2022? And I know every person who's involved in real estate is going to say, oh, it's a great time to buy or it's a great time to sell. I think everyone understands that. But in terms of 2022 as compared to 2021, what are you expecting?
We just, you see, shortages in almost everything that you buy and sell right now. Rick just mentioned going down to the Chevrolet dealership and you might not be able to find that Camaro today or that whatever it is, that appliance that you wanted to upgrade to. And houses in Raleigh, are really the same way. We are in a housing shortage right now. There is an extreme lack of inventory in the market. So while I would not want to be that generic salesperson who says it's a great time to buy or a great time to sell, what it is a great time to sell. Continuing, if you are a home seller and you do have a place to go once you sell, we're seeing people right now who are just talking to us about, maybe I should just go ahead and sell my house right now, and I'll figure out the next step later. I'm not even going to worry about that because it's a great time to quote-unquote cash out while the market is really high. But Donna, I see 2022 being just a continuation of a lot of what we saw in 2021, which is that a lot of people want to move to Raleigh and to Durham and to Cary and to Chappell Hill. And I think that's going to continue, and we just don't have the housing stock right now to keep up with the demand.
Wow. Really interesting insight. Johnny Chappell owns his own real estate agency here in Raleigh. He's a realtor and been in the market for a very long time. Mr. Chappell, thank you for giving us some of your insight of this really unprecedented housing market that we are experiencing here in the Triangle.
Well, thank you for having me on.